Welcome back. Today I think I'm going to go ahead and try to cut out that piece of the plate. As you may recall, I have that big 3/4 inch monster end mill, and I'm probably not going to use that. I'm going ahead and thinking this is a good time to use an example of what they did back in the Depression. They would never waste anything, waste not, want not. So there is going to be that center section that I'll be cutting out of the plate, and I think rather than just blow it all out in little chunks, why not save that as a little piece of plastic, because maybe I want to make a small part out of it someday. It's already machined on two sides, so why not try that? Anyway, on to the rest of the machining for the red block. Now I'm going to be taking out the drill spindle. Here, let me back this out so you can see it. Okay, I'm going to be taking out this drill spindle. It's an R8 spindle, and normally I would use probably one of the locking, what they call Bridgeport locking collets. But I've also got some old school stuff. On occasion I use the press collets. So what happens is this thing gets pulled up into the head of the milling machine, and your end mill would be placed up inside of it with the proper size shank. And as you draw that up, I don't know if the camera can see this, but it will close these sections up and put pressure on the end mill, and that's how it holds it in. So with this particular one, it's the long one I was looking for. It's a 3/8. It's probably going to take more out of this than I really kind of wanted to, but then again, it adds a little time. So we're going to put that in, and it'll be able to clear the block, no problem. So let's get this thing set up on the parallels. I think this time I'm going to just go through the motion so someone can see it if they've never seen it before. And this is a mini milling machine, but the same process is pretty much what you'll find on the bigger ones. And the bigger ones are nice, they're very heavy, and they take a lot of juice. And they cost a lot. But God bless them, we need them. Alright, let's do this the right way. So break our locking bolt. Notice I've got my hand on the spindle. Sometimes you got to give them a little pop. End of a screwdriver usually works. Usually. If you're not a weakling like me. So we'll take that off. It's a big piece. R8 spindle, that's a good size. And let's see, my collet. Now this is a 10mm collet. I had to get this specifically for this longer end mill, and that's because availability, you know, it is what it is. So let's put this thing up inside our head, and it's keyed, so there's a keyway right there. And we'll lift it up and we make contact with our set screw. And then before we get her too far pulled up, I'll put the shank of that end mill up, hand tighten, and follow it along. And let's see, there we go. These are extremely sharp, and be aware, be cautious. That sucker will rip the skin right off your hand or your finger. Alright, now we're going to righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So I need to have my spanner over here. It doesn't have to be super tight. Again, Tommy torque is not required here. The end mill will do its job as long as you know a good speed to feed it at. All right, so we've got that set up, and I should not be wearing long shirts and things. It's good to wear short sleeves. This is manual feed. God forbid if you had a electronic feed and you were wearing loose clothes, that's a mistake. Always safety, safety, safety. Now what I'll do is I'll rearrange these parallels. I'm going to add a couple of clamps to this on the outsides and work the inside of that spacer plate. Be right back. Now I've gone ahead and I've lined up my end mill for my straight lateral pass. Remember now, the shape of that plate and the throttle plate of a carburetor is, it's got 180 degrees on each end of that diameter. So what I'm going to do is just cut through the straight pieces first and cut all the way down, and then I'll probably just chip away until I get around to that outside at both ends, and then that piece will drop out, and then I'll just clean it up either by way of the milling machine or using some files, some sandpaper, and I'll get pretty close. So let's give it a shot. Let's see if we've got juice. Flame on. Here we are. Looking for about 900. Oh, check that. I'll put my cap back on. Safety first. Alright. We'll plunge maybe like, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch at a time. So we'll see what happens. Alright. Coming to you. And by the way, this bit makes a lot of noise. It's a 4-fluted bit, so it's not too happy. Back at it. Flame off. Let's check that. Now remember, that's both going to be a little warm and it's very sharp. That looks like it's about 1/8 of an inch. It's not 1/4 of an inch, so I'll try a little deeper. And let me do some of this and I'll come right back to it. One more plunge should get us through. All right, let's try that. sacrificial brush. Grab the camera and let's see the camera do its thing here. There you are, see? Went all the way through. And aside from my squirreliness of the pen, we take in the line. So now I'm going to go do this side and then I'll work on the ends. There we are. Nice little block I can make a small part from. What do you think? Okay. Now it'll be on to hit the curves. All right. What do you think? Spacer plate, 1 inch, or a 2-barrel. I wonder if they have spacer. I guess they must have spacer plates for 6-pack setups. Anyway, once I got it off the milling machine, a little Dremel tool on the ends just to take out whatever little curvatures were left. You almost look like you know what the hell you're doing.